Hi everyone, I'm Giancarlo,
And I'm Felicia.
and this is a review of...
The Institute of Magic... Wow.
She's hungover from yesterday. Try that again.
The Institute for
For martial arts, yes.
for Magical Arts. The Institute for Magical Arts.
Very good, yes, indeed.
But they could have made the vampire a little harder. Just saying.
It's a wizard, it's a wizard.
Whatever. Yo, Kristen Stewart is a lesbian now. That's all I have to say. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Why she switched? How do you switch?
You don't switch. That's not what happened.
So she was in the closet?
Pretty much. Vi. What does Vi mean? Challenge?
Right,
Duel?
the power
Wingardium
struggle.
Leviosa. I have a question. What is this? 0 to 3 sad face baby.
No 3-year-olds.
That
Under
no.
3-year-olds.
But it says 14 plus. Here. That's
Well, no, but there's little pieces so they could choke.
Oh. Good job. Looking out for those 3-year-olds.
Yeah, someone has to, right?
This is like Harry Potter. It's Harry Potter.
You know what? It's funny.
Meets Twilight.
Well, you know,
exactly
it's really
what's going
funny
on.
because what happened is the Institute for Magical Arts, the headmaster,
Dr. Phineas.
disappeared.
Oh.
Dr. Phineas, which is the Steve Finn's.
Phineas and Ferbs.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Phineas.
The cartoon. Phineas and Ferbs, the
I have
two
no
brothers.
I have no
Anyways,
clue.
continue.
None.
You were saying.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you anymore. In Institute for Magical Arts, the two players take on the role of senior wizards trying to take over the school since its headmaster has suddenly disappeared. In the box you'll find 6 location cards placed as such, a portal card placed by the number 6 location, 6 starting Institute cards, shuffle them and deal 1 to each player, place the rest with the remaining cards, shuffle them again and reveal 1 on each of the 5 remaining locations, 1 ethereal realm card, 6 reroll cubes, giving 3 to each player, 12 charm cubes in 1 and 3 denomination, give each player 2 worth, 54 power stones in 1 or 3 denominations, give each player 5 worth in their color, 2 score pads in their color with 2 scoring markers placed on 3, 6 action cards for each player in their color, 4 dice for each player in their color, 2 face cards for each player, and a summary card. Be the first player to get to 20 victory points and you win.
Before we get into turn sequence, let's look at victory points on Institute cards so we know what each player is fighting for. There are 2 types of Institute cards, items and characters. Characters with the red fonts all have the same effect. They'll give you points according to how many characters you own. They exponentially get better the more you own. Items in the black font have different point values. We'll get back to these cards later.
Now each turn is broken down into 5 phases. First, each player will roll their dice. Each die represents the identical location. The players will assign 4 of their 6 action cards to each die face down. Once both players have placed their cards, they reveal them all. From lowest to highest, we resolve all locations. If a player revealed the take stones, they'll take a number of stones from the supply equal to the number on the die. If they played a cast stones card, they'll put a number of stones from their personal supply onto the card at that location as their action card states. These will determine later on if any player gains the card at that location. When all actions have been dealt with, we move on to using the portal.
If one player has his stones on the portal, they can decide to either move them all onto an Institute card in one location, or place one of the stones on the realm of the ethereal. If both players have a stone there, remove one from each and return it to the supply. If any stone remains, that owner can choose to exchange those stones for the award listed. 1 stone for 1 charm cube, 2 for 2 charm cubes, and refill your reroll cubes back up to 3. 3 for 4 charm cubes, or 4 for 4 and the top card of the Institute deck. Each charm cube is worth 1 victory point. You may also trade in these to refill your reroll cubes up to 3. Remember to remove a VP for doing so. Reroll cubes are just that. If you don't like your roll during the first phase, simply discard 1 to reroll any dice. Let's move on to the next phase. Trigger permanent powers.
You might have item cards that can be used in this phase. To see in which phase they can be activated, simply look at the bottom left corner of the card. Permanent activated abilities will also have this symbol. To use them, you'll need to spend a stone and can only be used once per round. This symbol means it's a one-shot use, but has no cost to activate, and this one means it immediately triggers when acquiring the card. For these last two, once used, simply put them to one side in a use pile. The last thing to mention on these cards are the numbers on the top left corner, which brings us to the last step, award Institute cards.
In this last phase, starting from the lowest locations and moving up, players will see if they've been awarded Institute cards. There are 2 requirements to win these cards. First, you need to have a number of your stones equal to or higher than the number in the red banner. Secondly, you need to beat your opponent by having at least as many stones over them as the number listed in the circle. If both these requirements are met, take the card and get the VPs shown from it and trigger any coming into play effect, if any. Once all locations have been checked and this last phase is over, players see if they've reached or passed 20 VPs. If so, a winner is declared. If not, we set up for the next round. Simply slide down the cards to fill in empty locations and replace any empty locations with the top cards of the deck. Repeat until the Institute of Magical Arts has a new headmaster and a winner.
Simply put, the Institute for Magical Arts is one of the best 2-player games we've ever played. What? Bored to death likes a game with dice rolls? Well, what Institute does extremely well is it offers so many ways to mitigate the luck that every single time we played, we were never at the mercy of it. This game is so well balanced too from all its different aspects. Bidding, resource management, and deduction. So we should probably mention before how well this game does incorporate those mechanics, that it actually has all those mechanics. It's got a bit of everything for everyone and is great for all level of players. It's short enough to be a great filler and interesting enough to be played as an all-nighter. It's even portable for lunch breaks wherever you are. The artwork is fine and so are the components. The only little note that I have was that the size difference for the stones was just a little too minimal, and sometimes I'd mistake the bigger ones for the small ones. I also would have liked to have seen them as something different than wooden discs, maybe plastic looking crystals or something. It just would have added to the theme, which is already well incorporated in the game with a portal and ethereal realm card. But I know that's just a little thing and design preference, so only a half-point penalty. This game has it all, and we still haven't scratched the surface, like tactics and strategies from what is up to grab with either items or characters, which makes every game different, adding a lot to replay value. There's so many great aspects to this game, we can easily just keep going on and on about it. Instead, just take our advice and add this one to your collection. It'll definitely remain in ours, and it is a certainty that Dr. Steve Finn will get bugged by us to review more of his games. The Institute of Magical Arts gets a whopping 9.5 out of 10.
It's a vampire cloak.
You know, I will give it to you. She does look.
She looks
I just
vampire-esque. That's fine. It's because they're so big, they're in the way,
fine.
they're very hard to
What?
miss.
The boot? Wow. Do it again. This is a perky morning. No puns intended.